A business situation and you have no idea how to conduct yourself. And it's kind of embarrassing. You might even feel like a country bumpkin. So today we are going to be talking to etiquette expert Jackie Vernon-Thompson. She has written a book called Transformative Etiquette. And this is not her first time coming here. This is her second time because it is so important that we look at our lives in a way that, can bring honor to who we are and the person we are with. Hi, my name is Lillian McDermott, and I'm a certified life coach and the host of the Lillian McDermott radio show. And if this is your first time in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can come when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening and viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Jackie Vernon-Thompson is here to do just that. Welcome back, Jackie, to the classroom. I'm so glad you're
Thank you.
here.
Thank you so much, Lillian. It is a pleasure to join you once again. Hey,
Yes.
when you're invited a second time, that's a huge compliment. So thank you for having me.
I don't know if I've shared this with you, but I own a marketing company and I also marketed with doctors and I was in sales and I used to always say, anyone can make a sale, but when they come back, that is when customer service is so important. So you have struck
Absolutely.
a nerve because I am seeing more and more these days that people do not know proper etiquette. And last time you were on, I was sharing with you that we were sitting there teaching our grandchildren certain things that they may not be aware of, that perhaps maybe a busy parent, a busy world may have missed that. But as
Mhm.
grandparents, as people that maybe want to make a place that is friendlier and safer, I don't know, just to be yourself and to just do the things that you feel are proper and gracious to the host. To me, that is a nice place to be. So share a little bit about your background, Jackie, and what prompted you to go from being success at real estate to now being successful at sharing the proper etiquette in life.
Thank you for that question. That is a wonderful question because I've started back in probably the early 2000s mentoring girls, specifically young ladies who were growing up without their father, because I'm a product of that. Of course, my father and I now have a wonderful relationship because I was led to forgive him for just being absent. And now I love him. We have a great relationship. So I realized that God was pruning me and positioning me as I mentored the young ladies to be in this position. Of course, I was successful in real estate, still practice real estate, can't give that up. However, he led me to the point where I began to ask, what is my purpose? And of course, when you're inquiring about your purpose, you of course communicate with your creator. So I started asking him, Lord, what is my purpose? I feel there's something else for me to do here. And one evening, right before my slumber, he revealed to me that he wanted me. This is what he said. I want you to establish an etiquette school and create etiquette DVDs. I had never discussed the word etiquette, never used the word etiquette. Of course, we said proper manners. However, when he revealed that to me, I knew that he revealed my purpose. From there on, the next day, I disclosed it to my husband, and he said, hey, if the Lord said it, we had no choice but to obey. And the rest is history. Society has embraced etiquette, and it's just been a big buzz.
Well, you're making it a big buzz because there is a lot, and I don't know how to say it. There are times where you find yourself in a situation where you know that the other person has no idea how to maneuver. Like, for example, when you sit at a table at a wedding and there's a bread plate and a wine plate, a wine glass, a water glass. There's all these different, and they're just the majority of the table is looking at. And so it's very important that one person takes over and says, okay, my bread is on the left and my water's on the right. But you gave a clue last time, which I would like for you to share about the eating with the right hand and the left hand. So go ahead and share, because I thought
That
that was
is,
cute.
yes, it is. It's a huge factor when dining, especially when dining with other guests. You want to be sure to use your items and your items only. And many people are confused because there are glasses and bread plates and all kinds of items there, and they don't know, is that glass mine, or is the glass on the left mine? So I use a couple different methods. One is really fun, where you
Oh,
hold up
that's
your
right.
right
That's right.
hand, right? You hold your right hand, make sure those fingers are up, and this circle is here, and you say, okay, which letter is that? That is a D, and that D is on my right hand, meaning D for drinks. So drinks are always on the right. And the same scenario for your left hand, that is a B, meaning B for bread. So the bread is always on the left. Now, if you want to be a little more conservative and relaxed, you would not do these. Of course, you would do it under the table, not sit at the table like this or like, what are you doing? Right? So you'd hold it under the table. However, a more conservative way is to just consider the car BMW. B on the left is for bread, M in the middle is for meal, and W on the right is for water or wine. So BMW. You would never have a doubt from thereafter. So it's just really fun teaching those little protocols, because it boosts confidence. No matter how small the protocol is, it boosts confidence in that area.
Where did you get BMW? I mean, did somebody teach you that, or did you just, because I'm an acronym queen. I love acronyms. But where did you get BMW?
I heard it somewhere. I think it was
Okay.
in Emily Post book, her book. I read her books, and of course watch videos. So I think it's from there. However, it makes so much sense, right? And it's easy to remember. Everybody
Yeah,
knows the car BMW.
that's right. Everybody
I'm
does.
not giving them advertisement, but
No,
it is what
no.
it is.
Exactly, exactly. Well, here's the deal. When you find yourself in an event,
Mhm.
um, some people show up certain ways. They maybe like it's a dressy occasion and they might show up in shorts, or they might show up. So let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about etiquette and what it truly means to conduct yourself in that way, in a way that's proper. So let's start with, what is etiquette and how do you incorporate your life to be aware of other people's need for a certain dress code or an event. So let's talk about events after you share what the proper etiquette, what does etiquette mean?
Absolutely. Due to the fact that I work with children quite often, of course, I work with children and adults. However, the majority of the times I am with children, youth, young adults, and I simplify things for them. So, my basic definition, after learning all of these different definitions, my basic definition is conducting yourself in a way that doesn't offend others. That's essentially what proper etiquette is. Therefore, because you know now the definition of etiquette, you pay attention to your conduct in every environment,
Mhm.
at every occasion. You do not do anything that would offend another person. Of course, we're not perfect. If there is offense, you apologize, own it, and move on. However, we have to be concerned about our behavior in every environment, so that we are courteous, we're polite, we're respectful. And in addition to that, when attending events, we respect the request of the host, which means if they have a dress code, you respect that, whether you like it or not. Gentlemen, if you're not crazy about wearing suits for that occasion, if you plan to attend, put on that suit. And the list goes on. If you show up at an event and formal attire was requested and you're in shorts and t-shirt, that is utter disrespect. That is the epitome of improper etiquette. So if you plan to attend an event that someone is hosting, you must abide by their rules. When in my house, we will go by the rules.
You know, I will tell you that I've invited people to my home, and in my
Mm.
home, and I don't know if this is proper etiquette or not, we don't wear our shoes inside. We leave our shoes in the foyer, but inside I have socks that I can offer. I have flip-flops that are inside flip-flops, whatever people would like. I even have shoe covers for people. And I have had certain people say to me, absolutely not. I'm going to leave my shoes on, or I don't want my shoes covered. I don't want this or that. And so in that situation, I've tried to look at overcoming obstacles and hurdles so I have something for them. But it puts me in a very difficult situation. Maybe I am being too demanding and asking people to not just remove their shoes, maybe cover their shoes if they don't want to remove their shoes. Is that wrong of me?
It is absolutely not wrong. Keep in mind that everyone has cultural differences. And so, due to a person's culture, and it doesn't have to mean that you're from another country,
Mhm.
every home has a different culture,
Right.
every business has a different culture, and the list goes on. What is important, however, is if this person has never visited your home, you inform them in advance
Okay.
in a very tactful way. Oh, by the way, I'm so excited to have you. I just wanted to give you a little tip that once you arrive, feel free to remove your shoes. We're going to have booties for you to wear, or there will be a shelf, a rack for you to place your shoes. We just want you to be comfortable. Would you like sandals, or give them options? This is indirectly saying once you arrive, you got to remove those shoes.
Well, you know what? It is not something I've done on a regular basis. So I will make sure that I make people feel comfortable ahead of time and send out a text
Yeah.
letting them know. It's not because it is comfortable to be home but it's more the toxins that are in the bottom of our shoes that we bring into our home that's a sanctuary, and that would
Yes.
be my thing. But anyway, that's a little side note. That's one of the reasons I
Yeah.
was excited. I'm like, how do I handle this? How do I handle this?
Lillian, there are many people who have babies who crawl on the floor.
That's right.
We don't want the germs from outside to come on in, and babies put their hands in their mouth. Just respect the request of the host. However, give them advance notice if they're not accustomed to removing their shoes.
I will, and from this point on, I will do that. So, what are other settings that we need to be mindful of when you receive invitation? That whether it's a
Absolutely.
let's do personal first and then business, and how to
I
conduct
have to
yourself.
tell you that the removing the shoes is such a big topic. I actually had the privilege of writing an article for Huffington Post on removing your shoes at the door, if that is permitted or not. So I love this conversation
Oh,
because
good.
it's a big deal, right? So as far as personal is concerned, let's say that you and your fiance are planning your wedding and you send out an invitation. Be sure, and this is another topic, another article written in dailymail.uk that
Nice.
I've
You go,
contributed
girl.
to. Yeah, God has opened so many doors. Now, when you send that invitation, there is invitation etiquette. Be sure that all of the information is within that envelope. It's kind of a faux pas, meaning an embarrassing experience or moment, when you have to resend or send another item that should have been in your invitation. So think thoroughly about what kind of information needs to be in the envelope to accompany the actual invitation. Now, here's the personal. Once you receive that invitation, it is paramount that you RSVP within the time given. Oh, this is such a violated rule. So many people wait until the last minute. If you're a procrastinator, this is not the time to procrastinate, because you have to keep in mind that the bride and groom to be would have invested finances in every different areas to prepare for that day, for that moment, that experience. And so you abiding by their request will contribute to things being less stressful and things being more smooth. So respect that. In addition, this is also violated quite often. If you received an invitation and it is only your name on the invitation, do not request the permission to invite someone else. Keep
Oh,
in mind, money is involved,
yes.
investment is involved. And if they only invited you and not a plus one, then you should respect that. Now, if you're married, then of course it would be Mr. and Mrs. who are invited. Otherwise, don't ask to invite someone else.
You know who the worst violators of not RSVPing and asking if they can bring 10 more people with them are the people who never have entertained, who've never
Mhm.
thrown a party, who've never understood what happens. All they have to do is show up
Yes.
and show up within the guidelines of that event. And to not even RSVP, and we care so much, and this is how far I've gone, where I've contacted people
Mhm.
to see if they're coming, because I don't want at the last minute
They show up.
then either show up or call me and say, oh, I forgot to RSVP. And usually when I plan an event, there are people who don't show up on the day of the event. What is the proper etiquette? Because some people just don't show up without saying anything. What is the proper etiquette? If you've RSVP and they've paid for your chair, what is the proper etiquette if you're not going to show up on the day of or the week of or whatever?
Well, this can be a controversial topic because some people are like, listen, I'm going to send them the bill.
Exactly.
And,
Because every person is about $100 or more. It's $100 or more. So that's $200 right there that wasn't used.
yes, I totally understand. However, to prevent having a hostile situation, I would not send them the bill.
Oh,
However,
of course not.
just like every business, there will be a profit and loss. So you have to prepare that there may be one or two people who just do not understand the concept of etiquette and they may not show up. However, to help prevent that as much as possible, you definitely want to contact the individuals like a week before the event, your wedding or the event, and just reconfirm that they will attend because life happens. It is
Yes.
very rude not to show up for an event that you had RSVP. That is very rude. However, some folks are not big on etiquette and they're just like, well, it is what it is. However, I would not send a bill to them. I would, after that, consider the level of relationship you want to continue with that person.
That is so true. That is so true. I would never send a bill, but I would actually, if I knew, like, for example, people get sick the day of.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I would say I appreciate them not showing up and getting other guests sick as well.
Mhm,
But in a
mhm.
situation, if that were me, I would go out of my way to not contact the bride, but the event coordinator or someone that is planning that, to let them
Absolutely.
know that I'm not going to be be there. And,
Yes.
with pain in my heart, that would be the only reason. But some people forget.
How do you forget a wedding?
Do
Once you
you?
receive an invitation, you're concerned about what do I wear? How do I do my hair? How do you forget that? So that also shows the level of respect they have for you and the level of interest they have in you. So you really have to reevaluate. Bride and groom to be must always reevaluate that list, make the list, reevaluate that list, slim that list, slim that list, slim that list. And make sure that the people who will be in the room are people who love and care about you and want the best for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. And as a hostess, to not take it personally, This is
Right.
not on us, it's on them. This is something that they've done. And it gets frustrating when okay, I just wasted $500 or $1,000 because when I plan a party or an event, I know that on the last day, there's 10 to 20% of the people will not show.
Yes.
So I coordinate it as such that when I ask for the meal and I tell them the numbers, I know that they're going to make more. So, and the occasional person that will come in and that,
Mhm.
then at least there's not too much money that's going to be going down the drain. And what about leftovers? I've been to events where people have asked me if they could take a bottle of wine or a case of beer. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, sure, go ahead.
that's a no-no. When you attend someone's event, you don't take a to-go plate. That doesn't work. It just doesn't calculate. And so you enjoy the portions there. When you're leaving, bid farewell and just have a great time. Even now, this is important. Even if you brought a dish to contribute to the gathering, you don't take the what's left and carry it home when you're ready to leave. You leave the rest there for the other guests or even for the host for later on. It is not for you to bring, then take the balance home. It just doesn't look right. Okay. So just leave it there. And even if you're in close proximity to the home, leave the container and pick it up another time. But just be courteous about that because that's a big faux pas that many people violate. It's like, no, you can't take a to-go plate. And another thing that many people do before they've noticed that everyone has eaten, they're ready to share another plate for someone who has not even arrived. And so we want to make sure that we allow the folks who are in the room to enjoy their portions or take their portions. Then, if there's something left and you're expecting someone to arrive, allow the host to make that plate or ask them to make that plate, and you move forward from there.
Ah, okay. So these are some of the things that people aren't aware of, and they just do it. They don't realize that they're being offensive. They don't know what they don't know. And so hopefully, there's a quote in your book by Maya Angelou that,
Mhm.
that you start with, when you don't know better, you do the best you can. I'm paraphrasing it, but when you know better, you do
You
better.
do better.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah. So hopefully
absolutely.
this will be doing better. And listen, there have been times where I mean, even I may have of violated some of the rules because of not even thinking. But it's time that we stop and we think. I mean, with everything that's happening in the world, this bonding, this togetherness is so important. And
Yes.
so we need to just be very courteous. Now, with that in mind, let's switch to professional, because when you get invited to an event that is a marketing event or a business event, there are a lot of things that I see that aren't done in a way that I would do them. Not necessarily is it proper etiquette or not proper etiquette, but I wouldn't do this way. Like, for example, if I am working and I'm at a business meeting, I will not drink alcohol. I will
Mm.
not touch it. I will not even come near it. And what made me successful as a marketer when I first started in marketing is all the other marketers were so drunk that I was able to be able to work my purpose for
You
being.
had the advantage.
And I also wouldn't go home with somebody that was there. And so let's talk about proper etiquette when it comes to being in a business meeting or a business event.
Absolutely. And that is such an important topic to discuss because we're all business owners, we're entrepreneurs, many of us, you and I, of course, and they're networking. Even I love to network. I love to interact with others, like-minded individuals, and those who are thriving. And so I'm in that environment quite often. One, very important, first impression goes a long way. So always make sure that your appearance is appealing and respectful and appropriate. your appearance from head to toe. So when you're preparing, you're dressing for this event, make sure you understand the message your clothes will send, the message your attire will deliver to the people in the room, because it speaks. We communicate non-verbally and verbally almost all day. Okay. So pay attention to that. Dress appropriately. Not only that, always be armed with your business card. Now, it can be digital, or, I like to tell folks that even if you have a digital card, have a hard copy card as well, because everyone is not digital. They're not crazy. There's some people who are literally afraid of social media, afraid of all that technology. So have that hard copy, because you don't want to have to tell them, oh, allow me to put the number in your phone, because they're not digital. It's just too much. That extra step is not necessary. So a professional always have the alternative way of conveying their information, and that's a hard copy business card. Now, in order to share that business card with an individual, you do not just walk up to them and say, here's my business card. You establish somewhat of a relationship with them, if even for 1 minute. Hi, how are you? Introduce yourself, allow them to introduce themselves. That is somewhat of a rapport that you've built. And then you say, please give me a call if you'd like to speak about such and such that we offer. And then you hand them your business card or give them that digital card. This is violated quite often, and it's kind of cold to just walk up to a person and hand them your business card. And so we have to pay attention to that as far as business owners and entrepreneurs. Now, another thing, the last thing that I'm going to talk about regarding networking and interacting as a professional, be prepared with your elevator pitch. That is a huge thing. That is also networking etiquette. Be prepared to effectively articulate the nature of your business to the room of folks or to an individual. Now, an elevator pitch is not required when you're speaking one-on-one. However, a one-liner is when you fill them in with one sentence, and that triggers the conversation. Oh, really? I provide such and such for such and such. And then, oh, really? Tell me more. Or they will exchange the information for their business. So be prepared physically, professionally, elevator pitch, one-liner, and show up. Make a difference in the room.
In the book, Transformative Etiquette, you have in there like a little guideline that you can just like prepare it. I love that you did that. That was
Thank
really
you.
nice. I told you I've looked at your book in so many different ways, and I have it by my bedside because you need to know your etiquette. And so one of the things that you share in the book is that you talk about first of all, you never give the card out. And I remember when I was in the chamber, when I would go to these chamber meetings, everybody would line up and they would hand each other cards. And I thought, I don't want to get rid of my card like this. I mean, I want to work for it because it's just going to end up in the trash. And so if you look at your business card as an extension of a relationship, not
Yes.
like walking by a stranger, would you like my card? Would you like my card? You're just going to throw it away,
Yes.
It's like, it's not like I'm not a Pez dispenser that I just like, I am selective to who I give my cards to. And so when we have a conversation, if not just the elevator speech, but what is your goal? What do you your purpose? And you share that and you find you have something in common, then that's the time. But you talk about that in the book as well, to not just go over to someone like you just said. But another thing that you said that I never even thought of, and I started thinking, how many times have I violated this? If I have violated it, but it's when somebody is sitting and they're eating, that you don't shake their hand. I didn't even think of that. So talk a little bit about that. And
Yeah.
how did that come up? There you go.
Yeah, we should always be concerned about transferring germs, not transferring germs. Therefore, if you're in a restaurant, anywhere, private area, it doesn't matter. If someone is dining, you do not extend your hand to shake their hand. because essentially you're placing them in a position where you're going to transfer the germs from your hand to their hand. And keep in mind, they're eating. They will transfer the germs to their utensil, to the table, and so forth. Simply greet the person. And since COVID surfaced, we've learned that some alternatives are acceptable. What you can do is place your right hand over your heart. It's so good to see you. Let's talk soon. When you place your right hand over your heart, it says it's sincere, it's real. It's not necessarily connecting with the person physically. However, you're communicating the
I love that.
sincerity of seeing them. Yeah, it's so good to see you.
Mhm.
And so that is an alternative to handshaking. Never ever attempt to shake someone's hand while they're dining. Now, if that person who is dining do not know that protocol and they extend their hand to shake your hand, simply give them that fist bump. It's so good to see you. Or the alternative.
So the
And
fist
it's
bump, you can
simply,
give the fist bump, that's okay?
yes, yes, because you don't want to really embrace their hand to transfer that germs. And you could do that, or the alternative. I think the most professional is this alternative with your right hand over your
I love
heart.
that. I love that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
don't shake someone's hand when they're eating.
what about an elbow bump? Like, for
An
example,
elbow bump is,
you have a glass, you have a plate, and somebody comes up to you, you just, like, tap them with the
uh,
elbow.
well, it depends on your relationship with that person.
Good.
Yeah, all of these depend on the relationship. Of course, a handshake is always appropriate. The alternatives depend on the relationship. You wouldn't just walk up to the CEO of a company and say, "What's up?" It's like, "Who are you?"
Like those Bud
That's
Light
different.
commercials. "What's up?" I don't know if you
Yes,
remember
like,
those.
do I know you from somewhere? Yeah, so make sure it's appropriate for the relationship. Yeah,
It's funny. It's funny. We're laughing about this, but this could make or break somebody's career.
absolutely.
Especially, I've known professionals that have asked me to, or people ask me if they can friend me on my Facebook page.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, my children, my family has asked that I keep my private, but a lot of people want to be in Facebook. What is the proper etiquette to share with somebody that wants to be your friend on Facebook, gets offended when you don't say yes, that you just, I don't check anymore. But I mean, there are times where we do want to be friends with one another, but it's outside of it's a personal as opposed to a business. What is the etiquette, the proper etiquette when it comes to social media and friending and asking someone to friend you?
And that is such a great question. Of course, it's a controversial issue because some folks are like, why can't I? Now, the thing is, if you would like to keep a certain page within your very close friends, then you do that. Now, for the random person who would like to be your friend, who would like to interact with you can have a second page where it's not a problem to invite them or accept their invitation. I had this question some time ago where there was a boss who wanted to become a friend of the person. Now, this is how I answered that question. To prevent having conflict and the boss wondering, why doesn't she want me to be a friend on her page, and causing that kind of uh, friction, I have no problem accepting the person and restricting them.
How do you do that?
Yes, you go into your privacy and you restrict them. So therefore, they're unable to see most of your posts. You can restrict them to only seeing certain posts. That prevents someone from being offended when you tell them, no, I really don't want you to be a friend on Facebook. So you can go into the privacy section and restrict them from seeing some of your posts. You can
Hmm,
do that.
I'll have
That
to look into
prevents
that.
the awkward conversation. Absolutely. Now, on the alternative, you would encourage them, please. This page is reserved for my family and very close friends. That is respectful.
Mhm.
And you can ask them, is it possible you can follow me on my business page because I share so much information? Make it sound exciting for them to follow you on your business page, and that should blow over because there's no way they could take offense to that. Why would they want to come into your intimate space if you've expressed that it is for your family and friends? But I would love for you to follow me on my business page.
And
Yes.
that's how I've handled certain things, because I do have a fan page and I have a private page. And my family has asked me to keep the private and
Hmm.
the other things, public. And so I respect that. And so that's how I've handled it. But when it's a boss situation or someone you work with, someone that you develop a relationship with, and you still don't want, because there's certain, I didn't realize that there were privacy sessions.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll have to
In
check it
addition
out.
to that, yeah, it was something that perhaps I'm not sure if you're aware, you can also go into the privacy section and make sure that you can approve anyone who tags you. So even if they tag you, it will sit in that space until you go and accept that tag to show up
Oh,
on your timeline. So therefore, no one can voluntarily just post something on my timeline and it appears. I have to approve it because I have a reputation to uphold. I have an image that I'm trying to portray to the public. And it's very important that that person's post does not compromise my reputation or image.
very nice, very nice. Because we behave a certain way when we're comfortable in our private setting
Hmm.
and all that,
Hmm.
that may be misconstrued
Right.
if put in the wrong perspective. So I can
Absolutely.
understand that, especially when you are, the expert in etiquette. And so you've even written a book about it. And by the way, it's a wonderful book. I said it earlier. It's by my nightstand. And so I just wanted to share this. It's called Transformative Etiquette: A Guide to Love and Refining Self. And I
Yes.
love the tagline, because
Thank
that's
you.
you. And yesterday I did a show. Yesterday, no, last week I did a show on, being in your top five. Like when you ask who are the top five people in your life,
Hmm.
and they say, God comes first, my husband, my children, my mom and dad, and then you have like groupings. And then I asked, well, where are you? Where are you in the top five? And so this is a way of you getting that confirmation and that self-esteem that you can conduct yourself
Yes.
eloquently in any situation. And
And become
so
refined.
that's right. I love that. I love that. And this is what the classroom is all about. And so I just want to take a little minute to talk about you and how you can help the classroom and how we are helping one another grow together. And so go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Please, while you're there, please subscribe. We are trying to merge everybody into the website so that when we go live, it'll be through the website only, because there are many restrictions that are happening on Facebook and YouTube and other social media that might limit information that's life-changing, natural
Hmm.
health, for example. And so please subscribe while you're there. Please like and follow me on all social media. You're welcome to like me there. And also check out my sponsors and support my sponsors the way that they're supporting the classroom. We have a few events that are going on, and I will tell you the most important event right now is we are doing the Emotion Code and Body Code seminar. It's a 2-day with Dr. Bradley Nelson here in beautiful Cape Canaveral, Florida. Today is the last day that you can get early registration discount. After that, it's regular price. No matter if you missed it or not, it is regular price. So I'm giving you the last minute warning for those of you who would like to attend. It's going to be a wonderful workshop or seminar, and we're going to learn how to tap into our subconscious traumas so that you can release them, so that you can be your best self and refine yourself at the same time. Check out all the different workshops that we're doing, that we've done, that you can still take advantage of. Go to my Shop Now bag. These are Lily approved products from head to toe. And last, you can become an enrolled student in the classroom. So whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month, or a one-time donation of your time, your talent, your treasure, anything that you can help, even sharing this class today, that is a way that you can help break the algorithms and get this information out there. And so today I'm excited, to invite you into whenyouneedafriend.com, so that you can take that next step, that next level, to be who you want to be without any fear. Be fearless. So today we have Jackie Vernon-Thompson. She has written a book called Transformative Etiquette, and she is an etiquette expert, if you haven't known this already, if you haven't noticed this already. So let's talk about you and your School of Etiquette from the Inside Out. School of Etiquette, I said it backwards. So School of from the Inside Out, SOE.com is where you can find her. You can also find her link on the blog. So share a little bit about what you've been doing since the last time you came to the classroom.
Thank you for asking. I've been so busy traveling and just teaching etiquette, spreading the word, like spreading the gospel, right? Spreading the word about etiquette. I work with children and adults internationally. So we conduct workshops via Zoom, and we conduct workshops in person. We also have increased the number of consultants that we have internationally. We now have over 225 etiquette consultants, certified etiquette consultants,
Wow.
that I've certified through a 5-week rigorous course. And they're all over the world: Africa, Trinidad, Jamaica, of course, the United States, Bahamas, Canada, all over. And so we have so many individuals out there who have been taught proper etiquette, taught how to teach it. And so we can access etiquette training from all over the world by way of our different consultants. Not only that, but we have an amazing event coming up, our etiquette conference. Yay! The inaugural etiquette conference. And of course, yours truly is the host, and Lillian McDermott will be there. So if you want to see her in person, you need to attend our etiquette conference. It is for entrepreneurs and etiquette consultants. So if you're business minded and you want to get out there and learn how to enhance your business, this is the place. It will be in Fort Lauderdale at the Embassy Suites, downtown Fort Lauderdale, just about a half a mile away from the beach, right on the port. You will lodge there as well, and the conference will be in a few of their rooms. This will be October 11th to the 13th. That's a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday evening, we will do our meet and greet, and everyone get to know each other, because we have many people flying in from different countries, different states. Then Thursday is where the meat and potato is. Thursday is when, of course, Lillian will kick it off, getting us to position our mindset where we are ready to receive all of the information we're going to receive and resources. We're going to have an individual, Deb Lester, fly in from Texas. No, not Texas, from Dallas, of course. She'll fly in from Dallas, which is Texas, and she will fill us in on marketing tips, how to market your business, how to capitalize on social media and take advantage of everything available. She's amazing. She's got some great tips. Then, of course, we will hear from the Jacqueline Whitmore, etiquette expert and guru for so long. She will talk with us about how to build relationships with media. Definitely, as a business owner in this day and time, you want to be on TV, radio, podcast, even the Lillian McDermott show. Okay, you definitely want to be.
You made it if you come here. No.
Yes, you've made it. And we're going to have amazing lady She will talk about Chat GPT, Carolyn Mercury Powie, Chat GPT and AI artificial. Listen, there's so much that you're going to receive, so much. So it's very important for you to register. Thursday night, we will also have a gala, a formal gala at 7 p.m., emceed by the beautiful attorney Suzette Speaks. And it will be so much information, so much gathering, great networking, great food and interaction. Now, Friday, the 13th, this is the last thing. We will enjoy tea at a beautiful tea room in Broward County. And that's all included in the one price of $375. That's it, US dollars. You can also lodge at Embassy Suites. They've extended a special price of $150 per night. You can't
Wow.
beat that.
No.
$150 per night. So register on our website, www.fromtheinsideout, S as in school, O-E as in etiquette.com. Click Etiquette Conference, scroll down, register, scroll down a bit more, and reserve your room. We're excited to see you. So much going on.
That is wonderful. So I got from that that you don't necessarily be a graduate of your program. That if they want to start a business, that would work, even if it's the business that is not for etiquette, or if you just want to be an entrepreneur and start a
Mhm.
business, they'll receive information for them to do what they need to do to get that started, and
Absolutely.
also know proper etiquette. So when they do plan an event, so it all works out really well. This is great.
Absolutely. I forgot one person who is just amazing. We have Renee, who will be coming, Robinson, flying in from LA. She's going to teach us international etiquette.
Wow.
That's important. When dining, where will the host sit? Where will the spouse of the host sit? When dining with diplomats, when dining with dignitaries, how do you conduct yourself? So she's going to lay it all out for us. So we've got such a full package,
I
full
am
package.
excited. So for those of you who are watching this class today, there'll be a link for you to register. I'll have it in the description. Don't text me and say, hey, where is it? Just click on the description. It'll open up, and just click on the link and you'll be able to register. This is great information
Thank
that
you.
we all need. But how do you handle it when you go to an event, a gathering, and everybody there isn't aware of etiquette? They're just, just being who they are, just doing what they're doing. And maybe that this is proper etiquette. Do you just, when in Rome, do as the Romans do?
The important thing when you see someone making an error or faux pas, you just giggle a little and move on. You don't correct them. You don't correct them. That's not proper etiquette. You
Mhm.
don't correct them, especially not in public. And if you have not established a really close relationship with that person, you don't correct them, because that correction can be taken as offense. And you definitely don't want to offend anyone. So if someone is doing something that is not the proper way, like holding a fork like a knife, like a dagger, you just say, oh wow, look at that. And you keep it moving. Yeah. Relationships are everything. And it determines how far you can go with that person. Correcting a person or suggesting that they change or make any adjustment can cause a problem.
Well, I tell you what, I am really truly excited about being with you October 11th, 12th, and 13th, and
Yeah.
being able to go to a formal event and dress up and address the ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about people. We've got about maybe 8 minutes left in the
Mhm.
class. Yeah, about 12 minutes. No,
Mhm.
no, 7 minutes or 8 minutes. Forget it. We're getting close to the end, and I want to continue talking to you, but I know that we are limited in time. So if somebody's going to be speaking and addressing an audience, let's talk about that.
Thank you for that. Oh my gosh. I posted a video about a week and a half ago about that. One thing that we've noticed that many people do, and I have been a culprit in the past, until I recognized that's a no-no. Do not address an audience, especially if the audience has females in the room. Do not address them as you guys. That is so inappropriate. Essentially, guys are men, male, the male's gender, right? So when you say you guys, it can be offensive to the ladies in the room. It's like, am I a male? Did I miss something?
Well,
So
nowadays.
yeah, right. So you have to be careful with how you address the audience. You may say in a traditional audience, because it all depends these days. You may say ladies or gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, or you may say you. Keep in mind, you is singular and plural. Or if you're talking to a class of students, you may address them as class, hello class, or church, hello church members, or hello church, or good morning church. Just keep in mind that you don't want to offend anyone by addressing the entire audience with one particular gender related term or address.
You know what? And that is something that I learned from your book. And I thought, have I ever addressed it as you guys? I don't know if I've ever done that, but I like the beautiful ways to say ladies and gentlemen, because we are called to be that. When we
Yes,
show up, we are, the way that we show up speaks louder than what we say. It just,
absolutely.
so can you, I mean, we've got about 4 minutes left in the class today. Can you just address some of the things that maybe are important, that are general, that we might need to know?
Absolutely. There are some things that are major, and it makes a difference when you're in public with individuals you know or don't know. The extending that courtesy is very important. One thing is when you see a person and they're in close proximity, you don't just pass them as if they don't matter. If you have eye contact with them, hello, good morning. You may even have the opportunity to say, how are you? If you have that conversation, wait around for the answer. When you ask someone, how are you? Wait for the answer. It is so common that a person asks, how are you? And they're gone. It's like before you open your mouth to answer, they're like down the way, like 20 feet away. Wait for the answer. Give them that eye contact, showing I am asking because I am interested in the answer. Don't ask if you're not interested. There are times when semantics and just the same old is just not necessary. People like to know that they matter. When you greet them within close proximity, that says, I see you, you matter. That's kindness. That is proper etiquette. When you ask them a question, wait around for the answer. When someone opens the door for you and holds it open, especially if they don't know you, say thank you. So many times I've opened the door for individuals and they just walk right, and I'm talking about adults. They just walk right through and don't say a word. Oh, that really makes me cringe. It's like, oh my gosh. So keep that in mind. Another thing that is important, and I'm in the post office quite often because we ship out our DVDs. My assistant ships out DVDs as well. And I will open the door for someone. I hold the door. They enter, especially if it's an elderly person or just anyone. I hold the door open and they go in the line ahead of me. That's a no-no. If someone opens and holds the door for you, allow them to go in the line before you, because if they had not opened the door for you, they would already be in the line. So because they extended that courtesy to hold the door open, you extend the courtesy to say, you go ahead of me. You would have been there before if you didn't open the door for me. It's just thinking about these things. They're all logical. They all make sense. It's just a matter of taking the time to consider these courtesies.
It's so funny. One of mine that is when you're in traffic and it's obvious that you're letting someone out and they don't say thank you. They don't like I mean I'll put my hand out or wave my hand saying thank you or
Yes.
anything to that effect. Or if you cut somebody off by accident and they just don't look at you, I always look at it, if it's me that did something by accident, I'll try to catch their eye and say, so how many
Yes.
times have I
And
said,
they're like, oh, okay, okay,
I
okay.
mean, how many of us haven't done something like that? So we need to extend a little bit of grace when these things,
Mhm.
but when you're purposely stopping and you're letting them out and they just look away and they just get in front of you
That's
in the
rude.
card, and it is, but at the same time, I just let it go because it doesn't do me any good. It doesn't, they're not the ones suffering. So I just let it go because I say to myself, they just don't know.
Right,
They weren't taught. And
right.
so, I mean, my parents, I mean, that was like, say thank you, say please. And that's another thing. Children today, they just come and I want this, I want that.
Oh,
It's like, and I was go, and
I always stop and please, may I have? And they're like, oh, may I have? Yes. And incidentally, I've had to do it to some adults as well. They can give me this. May I have this? May I have this, please? And they always end up with a smile on their face because they are reminded of something they know they're supposed to do.
well, we'll let that be the final word. This has been, but it won't be the last one. So please remember to go to From the Inside Out, S as in Sam, O, School of Etiquette, SOE.com. The link is
Mhm.
below. Come join us. It would be fun to see you and have a celebration and get to know how to manage your business and how to handle your clients with proper etiquette. So thank you so much, Jackie. This is so wonderful.
My pleasure.
And thank you once again for the book, Transformative Etiquette. Please get it. They can get it at Amazon, right? Or in your website?
Amazon, yes, or my website.
Absolutely. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Jackie Vernon-Thompson wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day
Ever.
Good job. That was the best ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any